Welcome to our segment on how to create a tax-free retirement. I'm your host, Michael Potter. It is absolutely possible to create a tax-free retirement. Those who tell you you can't simply don't know how. Okay, let's look at a practical example. Let's say that in years gone by, you were working. Maybe you had a business of your own, but now you're retired. You don't have that income anymore from your business or from your employment. And now you're going to live and have a lifestyle based upon the income that you actually have. But one of the things that you may have gotten used to in the years past was the fact that you had deductions for your home, for your kids, or for your business, and now you don't have those anymore. So it may well be that the tax man and inflation are both eating away at the value of what you have worked so hard to attain. So let me show you another way. You know, as I speak to workshop audiences around the country, we often talk about taxes. And I want to ask you this very simple question about taxes using a farming analogy. If you were a farmer raising crops, would you rather pay your taxes based upon the seeds or based upon the crop that it produces? Well, that's where you're going to make your profit. So most people would say they'd rather pay taxes on the seed. So think about how most people save for retirement. They put money into a 401k at work on a pre-tax basis, and then when they take it out later on in retirement, they pay taxes on it at a future unknown tax rate years into the future. Other people use IRAs, the traditional IRA that is not taxed on the front end, but is taxed on the back end. And then there are some who have taken that seed analogy and have invested in Roth IRAs of various types with their after-tax dollars. You know what? That's a step in the right direction, but it doesn't go quite far enough. Okay, so let's take it to the next level. Now, let's say that you have already paid taxes on some income and now it's in your hands, okay? You have to make choices on how to spend it, what to put it in. And if you want to put it into your future to create a truly tax-free retirement, then I want you to follow closely as we talk about the next step. You know, when most people think of the subject of life insurance, they think of it really as a backstop, as a means of providing protection in the event you're not there to provide income. And it is a way to make sure that your house gets paid off. That's good. It's a way to make sure that your kids have a way to go to college. That's also good. And it can provide for your other loved ones so that they're not impoverished in their old age. That's great. All of those things are viable means of providing protection. That's true. But many people don't think of the other side of life insurance. And maybe this is something to think about in the discussion of how to create a tax-free retirement. Okay, so on a practical basis, let's say that you have taken some after-tax dollars and put them into a cash value life insurance policy. The cash is growing and is growing on a tax advantage basis, not to be taxed at all unless it is withdrawn. But I don't want you to withdraw it. I want you to max out on the cash contributions you make as long as you can. Now, these are after-tax dollars. You have already paid taxes on the seed. So grow that money in a tax-advantaged basis while providing a death benefit. But when you get to retirement, then instead of withdrawing the cash and spending it, borrow it out. You can borrow it out tax-free according to the life insurance provisions of the Internal Revenue Code. And when you borrow it out, you don't even have to pay it back. It's tax-free. In the event that you spend it, you are spending it against the death benefit. And in the event of the death benefit, it simply pays off minus whatever you have borrowed out. Now, if you've been around a while, you're familiar with market volatility, meaning that the prices of things can go up or down quite a bit, sometimes drastically. And the higher risk investments have that tendency to make a lot of money and to lose a lot of money all of a sudden. And that would be things like futures trading, stocks, and certain types of aggressive mutual funds. Next, we would have our moderate risk type of investments, things like real estate, for example. Now, that's going to depend, I know, it's going to depend on what part of the country you're living in and the general market conditions that surround it. But generally speaking, compared to stocks and hogbelly futures, real estate is a lot more stable and predictable type of investing. Yes, you're taking a risk, but the rewards are pretty good, and it is a moderate risk compared to, say, stocks or futures trading. And then we have our more conservative and stable types of retirement accumulation vehicles. That would be things like certificates of deposit, money market accounts, bonds, and cash value life insurance that's intended to grow on a tax-favored basis, provide protection for us in the event of our death, but also allows us to draw out the cash on a loan basis, tax-free, to have a tax-free retirement. Now, as an estate planning attorney, I've been around the block for a while now, and I've talked to a lot of clients about their needs for various kinds of planning, preferably done before there's an emergency. And when people talk to me about life insurance, I always tell them that there's a couple of ways to look at life insurance. One is just pure death protection. That is certainly the least expensive way to go. There's no cash value accumulating. Can't be used for taking care of you later for long-term care or for retirement. But at least it does provide the minimum amount of protection. And for some people, that's all they can do at that time. I understand that. But there are people who also want to plan on living a long life, trying to stay as healthy as they can, but they want money there that has grown on a tax-favored basis that they can pull out on a tax-free basis and retire on it or use it for their long-term health care needs as they grow older. And for those kinds of people who do want a tax-free retirement, cash value life insurance is a good way to go. But there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. Now, the right way to do it is to use what's called a indexed life insurance policy, such as an indexed universal life policy. It allows you to take part in market growth, but, and this is the most important thing, it has a floor below which your account is never going to go. I like that. It provides that basis of a guarantee that you know you won't lose money. And as you get older, that's one of the most important things that you can think about. Now, funding such a life insurance contract in the beginning has to be done carefully and with good guidance. We want it to be able to take part in any market rises. That's good. But we also don't want to lose money. So we want a floor that is guaranteed. And that's what indexing does in life insurance contracts. Naturally, the question is going to arise, well, if this is so great, how come not everybody's doing it? And the honest answer is lack of understanding of how it works. If you structure this properly, you can take the money that you've already paid taxes on the seed and you can put it into something like this so that it grows as fast as it can in a safe manner without losing money. And then as it grows, it always has that death benefit protection, but it can be taken out on the basis of a loan, which is tax-free, and that can be used as your tax-free retirement. Now, as usual, I've given you a lot of information, and I'm sure there's a lot going on there that you have to process. And you probably have some questions. You know, if you do, I'd be happy to talk about it with you at no charge and discuss your options and see what really suits you the best. It's really up to you. You're the boss. I'd like to help you in any way I can. My name is Michael Potter, and if you have questions, I'd love to hear from you.